Brown, for the second day in a row, the NBA offers up a Game 7. Tonight, it's the Rockets and the Thunder. ESPN's Kendrick Perkins likes Oklahoma City in this one.
I'm surprised that all of the attention is on the Houston Rockets and not on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Excuse me, last time I checked, this is not a 1 seed versus an 8 seed. This is a 4th seed versus a 5th seed.
Kendrick Perkins on First Take. Thunder and Rockets Game 7 on ESPN Radio and TV at 9 Eastern. As the warm-up act, Game 2 for the Bucks and Heat after Miami took Game 1. That one on ESPN at 6:30 Eastern. Villanova coach Jay Wright says he is not a candidate for the 76ers coaching job. Wright says he's very happy and honored to coach at Villanova, where he's about to start his 20th season with the Wildcats. Now that he has a contract extension with Cincinnati, running back Joe Mixon says he wants to end his career with the Bengals. Mixon also has glowing praise for rookie quarterback Joe Burrow.
Brought to you by Cooper Tires. Go with great tires that do what tires should do and cost what tires should cost. Go with the Coopers.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
The Brain.
Hey, the Brain got a poop.
We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
How about that, Bray?
Hump day.
How about it, Bray?
What day is it, Mike?
You left the microphone to go to the door.
Paulie, did you switch the camera? Yeah.
I did.
You know what?
Hump day.
Couple weeks ago, I got ambushed.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
They hit me with silly string.
It's hump day.
They hit me with wiffle balls.
Hump day.
Which begs the question, why is there silly string and wiffle balls on a sales floor at a radio station? I don't know.
Kind of jealous.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
But they hit me with them.
It's hump day.
That'll show them there.
Hump day.
Russ Mitchell in hour 3. Really, right?
Mike.
I gotta tell you this story. It's an incredible story. And Sean Fazende in about 12 minutes from right now. Glad you're hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. So I guess we'll tell the story with Russ. For those that weren't here last Wednesday, Russ Mitchell, Wednesday guest, college football news, all that. Last Wednesday, I texted with Russ before the show. We had gone over what we're going to talk about on 5:15. Well, we called him and he never answered. And I'm like, answer. I texted him, hey, call in. I texted him the number, call in, hey. And he just no-shows. And I text him back, bro, ... Nothing. The next day I realized I hadn't heard from Russ. And I'm going, we were talking about this. Like, I'm going, I hope he's okay. I text him the next day and I'm like, hey man, just making sure you're all like physically okay. No response. So I'm like legit worried. And then I saw him tweeting and then I'm like, oh my God, does Russ hate me?
We talked about this yesterday. You were legit worried.
I was legit worried.
That, like, you had offended Russ beyond repair.
Well, I don't know what it, like, whenever you have a legit friendship with someone for 10 years and they're scheduled to be on your show and you've communicated with them and then they don't answer and then you go a week without any type of response and you know they're alive and anyway, Russ got back to me today. And should I tell it now or should I save it for 5:15?
I mean, both?
Russ texted me this morning at 8:33 a.m. Central. He's in Arizona, so it's 6:33 a.m. He said, "Hey, brother, just realized you likely never got this message. Been so busy, I forgot to pay the bill, and they shut off the phone. I'm doing so many Zoom calls now, I didn't even realize until I got home at 8 o'clock and thought, been a long time since I heard from my family." He sent me a screenshot of the text I never got, where at 14:31, which would have been 2:31, which would have been 4:31 here, so about 45 minutes before we're going on air, where he put expletive me, I have to bail, I'm a fraud, He's got all this. So they moved a meeting from Friday to 3 o'clock today, which is 5 o'clock Central. Anyway, so Russ is alive. He doesn't hate me, and he's going to join us today in his usual slot.
And his phone's all good now.
And apparently has paid his phone bill. I was so worried. Yesterday after the show, because we always do the tease at the end of the show.
Right.
Like, what's coming up the next day? And I was like, guess I'm not going to tease that Russ is coming on because I haven't heard from the guy in a week. Maybe I think he hates me.
You were legit dejected too.
Well, I was like, hey, man, I was thinking, should I text him and be like, hey, did I offend you? I mean, is there something going on at 10 years of friendship? This is just beyond repair. What's happening, man? Anyway, so Russ today. All right, Sean Fazende's going to join us in about 10 minutes from right now, Fox 8 New Orleans. Sean Payton meeting with the media as we speak. Alvin Kamara was back at practice today. So we will get the full Alvin Kamara everything from Sean Fazende in about 10 minutes. We talked on Tuesday's show after Ed Ogeron met with the media a lot about his reaction to Jamar Chase and Tyler Shelvin opting out. One of the things that kind of slid under the radar yesterday was Ed Ogeron. Can you play 8 from yesterday, Brain? The news last week was that, if you remember, the bulk of the all but 4 offensive linemen were in quarantine. Well, Ed Ogeron did give us an update on that.
Yeah, our whole offensive line was back as far as I know yesterday. It was good to see him. As far as I know, the whole offensive line was back practicing. And I'm not going to give numbers, but, here's what happens. There's a couple of guys that are going to be positive, maybe more. But there's some guys that are going to be around them, so they have to get quarantined. It's just like it is. But you know what? It's good that it happened now and not in the middle of the season. I tell you what, our team did a great job of adjusting. Our coaching staff did a great job of adjusting. So we got a whole offensive line back. We had a very physical practice yesterday. We didn't have any physical practices last week because of that. And it's just a situation. It may come up with another unit. We just have to deal with it.
So the entire offensive line is back, sans one person. Ed Ogeron also announced yesterday that Joseph Evans is switching positions.
I'm going to tell you that this was a hard decision. Joe Evans was doing really, really good on the offensive line. I mean, really, really blocking well. I talked to him today. I think that he has a chance to play on defense. So we're going to move him to defense today to add some depth, especially inside.
All right, so I want to what I'd like to do is assess kind of where LSU is on both lines of scrimmage and understand why that news is significant, okay? So remember, you've already lost Neil Farrell. You've lost Justin Thomas on your defensive line. And then Tyler Shelvin opts out. And then TK McClendon announces his transfer because he obviously wasn't going to play much. He was a little buried on the depth chart. That's 4 defensive linemen. 4 defensive linemen that have left your program in the last month. It's forced Ed Ogeron, even though they feel like they got great depth on the D-line. And Ed said that yesterday because they're excited about guys like Jaquelin Roy and Jacoby and Guillory, and Apu Waika's still there, and Glenn Logan's back. And you feel good about a lot of those interior guys, but you've lost a lot of bodies. So now they're taking Joe Evans and moving him from offense to defense. I always say actions speak louder than words, and this is indicative of that. When you move a guy from a very thin position to another position to add depth, That's an indicator that position wasn't very deep, right? And that's what they did with Joseph Evans. Keep in mind, with respect to LSU's offensive line, I really like the first 5. I like them a lot. I like LSU's entire first 22. I think LSU's first 22 is good enough to play with anybody in the country. That first 5 on the offensive line, Liam Shanahan at center has played in 30 career games. Started all 10 games last year at Harvard. They played 10 in the Ivy. At right guard, you got Chasen Hines, who's played in 18 games. At right tackle, your most experienced lineman in Austin Deculus, who's played in 39 games with 24 starts, by far your most experienced offensive lineman. On the left side, you've got Ed Ingram at left guard, who has played in 22 games, started all 12 games of his freshman season. And then at left tackle, you got Dare Rosenthal, who's played in just 5 games, but started 3 times a year ago on the national championship squad. So my point is, that first unit on the offensive line, you got a lot of guys that have played a good amount of football for you that you can feel pretty confident in rolling out that first group. The problem is, as we've talked about, your backup, your next group on the offensive line. At left guard, Anthony Bradford. Right guard, Cardell Thomas, or flip those guys either way. You got a couple of redshirt freshmen on the offensive line who Ed Ogeron has said have battled injuries and weight issues. That's your backup on the interior. At right tackle, you got Marcus Dumerville. At left tackle, you got Xavier Hill, a couple of true freshmen on the offensive line backing up at tackle. At center, it's likely Chasen Hines or a redshirt freshman in Charles Turner, neither of which have ever taken a snap at center. My point is, while I like my first 5 offensive linemen, your backups, you have nothing. And I don't mean no talent. I mean, you have nothing in the way of experience. Like Hill, Dumerville, Thomas, Bradford, Turner, literally zero experience. Literally zero experience. Nobody has played after your first 5. That's a gigantic issue. And so that unit now, you have taken Charles Turner from that unit and moved him to defense because you were thin on the defensive line. And you think you're set on the offensive line? That's the problem, where when you look at that unit in total, you go, man, you're really thin on the offensive line. You're taking a guy away to supplement the defensive line. That tells you where you fit. I really like the way the first 22 shape up for LSU. A lot. 4th-year junior at quarterback. We just went through the starting offensive line. You've got a 5-star in Kayshon Boutte who's fighting to be the 3rd receiver. You realize how many places in America a 5-star would step in day 1 and be the man? At LSU, Kayshon Boutte stepping on the best player in Louisiana, 5-star receiver, fighting for reps as the 3rd receiver on this team. We just went through the D-line. You got Jabril Cox and Damone Clark and Micah Baskerville, Derek Stingley, Cordell Flott, Elias Ricks, Todd Harris, Maurice Hampton, Jordan Tolles. I like LSU's first 22 a lot. The 2 deep is where there's just nothing. There is no experience, literally no experience. That's where, if COVID becomes an issue, if you inevitably have injuries, if other guys defect, that's where this team, as you go through a season, gets decimated. Unless you have guys that have never done it before step up and play a monster role in this team, which could happen, but you're going to need it in a lot of spaces. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll head down to NOLA. Sean Fazende, Fox 8 New Orleans. He's going to jump aboard with us. What in the world is going on with Alvin Kamara? Sean Fazende will dot the I's and cross the T's next.
AFR.
As much of our state recovers from Hurricane Laura, if you or someone you love is in that boat, you can trust Premier South Roofing. Remember, whatever contract labor you may need, the thing that I just can't stress enough is trust reputable, licensed contractors. Trust contractors that have been here, that have been serving our community. You're already going through the devastation of damage from a storm. The last thing you need is a contractor that's going to do shoddy work or take your money and not finish the job. Premier South Roofing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Super Service Award from Angie's List. the Torch Award for Ethics in Business from the Better Business Bureau. I tell you those things all the time so you never have to worry who's coming to your house and if they're going to do a good job at a fair price. That's Premier South Roofing. Online, premiersouthla.com. premiersouthla.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
When you want the best of Louisiana, you don't go to a superstore. We know what we like, and we like it local. Same goes for banking. As one of Louisiana's largest local banks, we offer homegrown services crafted around you. Gulf Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Do you know the proper way to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in your office? We do. We're Jani-King, a leader in the cleaning industry for over 30 years, and we've developed comprehensive programs to address proper cleaning and disinfection. We have experience in applying disinfecting programs in hospitals, office buildings, schools, and other venues. Now we're ready to help and able to assist customers that need disinfecting services.
Jani-King, the king of clean.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Dine in or carry out. 2 locations of Pluckers, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. NBA playoffs, U.S. Open tennis, football tomorrow night, Major League Baseball. They got you covered over at Pluckers. Okay, so it's been a pretty wild 4 days as it pertains to Alvin Kamara and his relationship with the New Orleans Saints. We bring on our friend Sean Fazende, Fox 8 in New Orleans, to dot the I's, cross the T's, as Kamara was back at practice today, and Sean Payton just finished speaking with the media. Sean, thanks for the time, man. As always, appreciate you. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Okay, so let's go back, I guess, roughly 4 days, and let's just sort of do this chronologically. We thought Kamara was not going to hold out, and then these unexcused absences pop up. Are we absolutely certain these were contract-related opt-outs?
Well, look, I believe it was either Sunday or Monday when Sean Payton was asked about Alvin Kamara missing practice, if it was indeed injury-related. He kind of quickly said, I'm not going to get into that, and then moved on. And then not an hour or two later, there was the big leak from to Adam Schefter from someone saying that it was not, three unexcused absences believed to be contract related, and there was some subsequent reporting saying that it was not, contract related. He was dealing with some minor injury. It's just a matter of who you believe, but clearly someone in the organization was upset that there was some missed practices, and then Schefter didn't pull it out of thin air, and so obviously that report was what it was, and then obviously you saw what happened over the last 48 hours with trade rumors and everything else, but he was at practice today, so that's certainly a good sign.
Okay, so let's talk about what we know with regard to the contract, and then we'll talk trade stuff. Mm-hmm. So we know Derrick Henry's number. We saw what Joe Mixon got. Do we know what the Saints are offering Alvin Kamara right now?
I know the latest offer, and this was as of about 5 o'clock yesterday. I was reporting it was a little bit over $12 million this season, where if you do the math, let's just call it 12.5, that's right in line with Derrick Henry's contract. If you listen or if you watched, read Jeff Duncan's article in The Athletic, he said the Saints have an offer on the table, 4 years, $50 million. I reported a little over $12 million was the latest offer. I had not gotten any updated numbers as far as if they've moved off that number yet, but it feels like from the Saints end, that's where they're at in that $12 million range.
Do we know what Kamara wants?
Well, he doesn't necessarily need to be paid like Christian McCaffrey, but he wants to be paid more than Derrick Henry. Clearly, if there's an offer like that, that's already on the table. So somewhere in between 1 and 5 is where Kamara wants to end up. Now, number 2 on that list is Ezekiel Elliott at $15 million this season. McCaffrey makes $16.1, I believe. And number 3 is Le'Veon Bell, and that's an interesting contract. That could be the one that ends up being sort of the benchmark, if you will, of, okay, where do we go in terms of the money that they end up signing for. He's at 13.1. So if the Saints had offered a little over 12, which is what I reported, and Jeff reported 4 years, $50 million, and other reporting says they're pretty close. About, I think Nick Underhill said about $2 million apart. So we're starting to feel the parameters here, right? The bottom and the top of this negotiation. So it'll probably end up somewhere between $13 to $14 million. That would be my best guess as far as what value he's looking at in terms of what he's worth.
So this is the really interesting part, right? Because Kamara thinks that 13, 14 million range. If the Saints have an offer in the 12 million range, Sean, we've seen this with guys like Mark Ingram and Von Bell, where the Saints have their number and they're not going to go over it. So is this one of those instances where, and I'm asking you just your opinion, do you feel there's room to work here, or are the Saints committed to that number?
I think there's a little more wiggle room in Kamara's case than some of the other guys you just mentioned. But here's the thing. It's highly, highly unlikely they reset the running back market. I don't think they have any interest in doing that. And just based on what I've been able to kind of gather, I don't necessarily think Kamara needs top of the market running back money. More of just get as close to that as you possibly could in terms of Christian McCaffrey. So look, the Saints, with those other 2 players, obviously they had their mark and they didn't want to go over, and those players, went on. But I think it's a little bit different scenario. Obviously Kamara is under contract. He's on the roster right now. He was at practice today. And obviously they have time to negotiate this deal. So I do think there's some wiggle room here. I saw the report earlier that cooler heads have prevailed. I do think there's something to that. I think once they got back on the practice field, perhaps things can start to soothe over a little bit. But look, it got ugly with Drew Brees back in 2012. It got ugly with Jimmy Graham back in 2014. It got a little dicey. Michael Thomas held out last year, but at the end of the day, all those guys got paid. And I would put, Kamara, based on his skill set and what he's contributed, in that category in terms of value to the Saints. So I think a deal is going to get done. I don't think he's going to get traded. I think that was more of a last resort kind of deal. And I think he ends up with the Saints well paid at some point. It's a matter of, what's the number they ultimately settle on.
All right, Sean Fazande's with us, Fox 8 New Orleans, on Twitter at Sean Fazende, Fox 8. With regard to the trade, any idea if that came from Kamara's side or the Saints side, that leak?
That I don't know.
Okay.
yeah, I don't have any sort of information as far as who would leak that out and who it would necessarily benefit. So, yeah, I don't really have any specifics on that.
Would it make sense for the Saints to trade Alvin Kamara?
I guess everyone is tradable. I guess, there's a value if you offered a huge offer that they couldn't refuse. I guess it's possible. I don't think it's I don't think he's completely I don't think he's not irreplaceable but he's not going to be easy to replace if that makes any sense. It's just I don't think that's what they want to do, but I do think that is an option at some point if they can't settle on a number. It feels like things are getting closer. But you never know. Sometimes negotiations break down and teams do what they have to do. But I don't think at the end of the day they want to trade Alvin Kamara.
Do you think Alvin Kamara holding out into the regular season is a realistic possibility?
No, I mean he was at practice today. And I think that's a pretty good sign. He came back to practice after all of this was put out there. The unexcused absences, the possibility of the whatever you want to call it with the trading, being on the trading block, whatever the case however you want to phrase it, he showed up today for work. So I think that's a good sign. So I think ultimately he does not hold out and they negotiate in good faith and hopefully iron this thing out and he's well paid and he's happy for the 2020 season because look, they need him. I mean, they need him in 2020.
Does it make sense to wait and do a deal after the 2020 season?
It depends. I mean, there's risk on both sides of that. Obviously, with Alvin's side, you risk injury without long-term compensation, and obviously that could hurt your value. And on the Saints side, if he has a great year, he blows up, and all of a sudden he gets more expensive, and you're going into a year where you're going to be A, over the salary cap, and B, you're going to probably have a lower salary cap to begin with. So I think it's in the best interest of all parties to get it done as soon as possible. But make no mistake about it, Matt. Mickey Loomis can be painfully patient when it comes to negotiations. He does not blink. So that's just what you got to deal with when you're in a negotiation with him. But I think at the end of the day, it all gets done. I saw Pro Football Talk say by Monday. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I could see that being a possibility. So ultimately, I think he plays for the Saints in 2020. I think a deal gets done.
All right, last thing is there are these whispers now about, or not whispers, I guess leaked information about Kamara with a back injury. Is that something that's a bigger thing than we've talked about that might be influencing part of this?
Well, he was injured last year and it obviously impacted his play, but he still had 1,300 yards from scrimmage. I don't know because I'd heard of a back injury yesterday as well. If he was dealing with a back injury that didn't allow him to get on the practice field, perhaps. But I think at the end of the day, while that's something they'll monitor, because you obviously know back injuries are not to play around with in the NFL, but at the end of the day, I do think that won't be a huge deterrent in getting a deal done.
All right, I said last thing, one more. Leonard Fournette, is that realistic to New Orleans?
I know the fans want it to be realistic, at least the fans that interact with me on social media. They want it to be realistic. I think right now, as they currently stand, they're pretty good at running back. Latavius Murray, although he was in a no-contact jersey today, I think is a guy they really like. Ty Montgomery's been a pleasant surprise in camp. Had some versatility. You got a young special team type player in Dwayne Washington. We just talked about Kamara. Would you take a guy like Fournette? Maybe they consider it just and do their due diligence as any team would in this situation. But as it stands right now, I would say maybe not. But who knows?
Sean Fazende, Fox 8 New Orleans. You'll follow him on Twitter at Sean Fazende, Fox 8. Good luck spelling it. Fazende. We appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Hi, Bud.
Okay, man. It's after further review. He called me Bud. You see, Bud is it not? Bud is a very common, cordial greeting. I mean, that's fine. Yeah?
You get no argument from me. I still don't understand where that guy was coming from.
Will Wade's my bud. And I'm Sean Fazende's bud. I'm good with that. All right, I do want to talk. I'll give you my take on the whole Kamara thing in about 30 minutes from right now, but I want to stay on time. We'll knock out a break. Remember, brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson Bluebonnet, Dine and Carry Out. You don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. When we come back, we'll go around the SEC. And a really strange occurrence that I bumped into today that's kind of blowing my mind a little bit. I'd like to share that with you. We'll do that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Of course, if you're cleaning up post-Laura, even though we were really spared in the greater Baton Rouge area, which is certainly fantastic news for us here locally, but I know parts beyond, maybe not so much. But if you're cleaning up, remember, Clegg's is partnered with True Value Hardware Store, so anything you'd get at a True Value Hardware Store, you can get at Clegg's Nursery. So if you need rakes or shovels or gas cans or flashlights or floodlights, they got all trash bags, they got all that at Clegg's Nursery. Also, y'all, it's almost deer season. You know, I don't hunt, but I tell you about it every year. At Clegg's, they've got buck busters, the basic and the premium. You know, you got to go put out those plots. Terrio tells me about this every year. You got to go put out your plots and stuff to attract the deer. Well, now's the time, and they got buck busters at the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Seagoneer Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Hi, this is Chance Inman, President and Chief Operating Officer for Janney King Gulf Coast. Here are some ways to protect yourself and those around you from the coronavirus. Wash your hands often and thoroughly. Cover coughs and sneezes with your elbow. Disinfect high-touch surfaces regularly. Use non-contact methods for greeting others. And avoid touching your face. Following these steps, as well as social distancing, should help all of us stay healthy.
Janney King, the king of clean.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Flucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Flucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Our buddy Johnston Von Springer over at WBRZ TV at a press availability with LSU interim president Thomas Galligan. And the topic of Tiger Stadium attendance, tailgating came up. Here's the tweet from just a few minutes ago from Johnston Von Springer from WBRZ. This coming Saturday will mark 3 weeks until LSU football season opener. Louisiana governors previously said LSU will need plan for game days approved 2.5 to 3 weeks in advance. LSU president tells me an announcement should be coming soon and to stay tuned, no exact time given. So LSU's system president, Dr. Galligan, still not giving an exact time on when they'll make an announcement with respect to LSU tailgating and capacity, but it does make sense. And we've talked about this before. In order to host a home game, realistically, to have ticket takers, ticket distribution, concessions, stocked restrooms, security, personnel, all that stuff, you've got to have, there's the indicator, 2.5 to 3 weeks to make sure all of that's possible. And that's even pushing it. So 3 weeks from Saturday is the opener. So you would think sometime this week you would have to make some form of an announcement or early next week. So Johnston added in a second tweet, there will be an announcement very soon. He put very, very soon on that LSU president response to follow up on football and tailgating. Most SEC schools hovering in that 20 to 25% capacity. Galligan said, would not shock me if we were in that range somewhere. And the good thing about Tiger Stadium that it's outside. Of course, that matters, as we know that there are stricter restrictions, more stringent restrictions on indoor venues as opposed to outdoor venues. It's one of the things that certainly bodes well for Tiger Stadium, and we'll get that answer hopefully very, very soon. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're with us. Always happy to tell you about South Point Volkswagen and southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Tell you all the time about that great German engineering without the cost. And, of course, built right here in the USA at their Tennessee plant. So you're supporting American jobs, but you're getting that great German engineering at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. They can make you a better offer than most places because any other places say because they do more business, more volume than any other Volkswagen dealer in the state. Don't forget about their certified pre-owned vehicles. You can test drive their certified pre-owned vehicles and not just Volkswagens. They have all different makes and models on their certified pre-owned lot, more than 100 different vehicles. So check them out online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The South Carolina Gamecocks.
So this may not be the last year for senior Damani Staley. Did not redshirt his first year in Columbia. So this, his fourth year, was supposed to be his last. But with the NCAA granting all fall sports student-athletes another year, Staley says he's likely to return for another season with the Gamecocks, regardless of how this year goes. In preseason camp, Staley has been running as South Carolina's starting middle linebacker.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss been hit hard by COVID-19, especially in their secondary, which forced Lane Kiffin to move true freshman Mark Britt, a four-star wide receiver, to safety. He was a late addition to the 2020 signing class, but played both offense and defense in high school. So Kiffin sat him down, asked if he'd play defense. He said yes. A day later, running with the first team at safety. Ole Miss kicks off against Florida on September 26th.
The Florida Gators.
Speaking of those Florida Gators, they've made their their athletic program numbers of COVID testing available for the month of August. No football players tested positive in August. Total of 298 tests administered. Since football players returned to campus on May 26th, football team has had just 21 positive cases on 459 total tests. Since May 26th, Florida's entire athletic department has issued 1,017 tests with only 35 positives.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
And Arkansas has finally unveiled the long-awaited road uniforms to match the 06-07 uniforms that they wore back in the Darren McFadden era. It's how they're referring to them, or the McFadden era uniforms. Adidas created these uniforms in the 06-07 season, but these are Nike's remake of that uniform. This is the most recent full and home away uniform announcement since July of 2018. Prior to that, the longest stretch Arkansas had gone without changing its uniform since joining the SEC was a stretch from 2014 to 2017. Stay hot with that tradition, Arkansas. There you have it. This is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. They're online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com. You can enjoy dynamic collaboration with interactive whiteboards from Gulf Coast Office Products. If you, during COVID, have been separated from your employees, your clients, your customers around the city, the country, the world, interactive whiteboard is an amazing way, and affordable, by the way. And literally any size business can afford the interactive whiteboard. Literally, trust me, any size business. Gulf Coast Office Products. GCOPnet.com. GCOPnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, it's after further review, a little Whiskey Wednesday. We'll talk to Taylor Calandro coming up here in just a few minutes. Claire Harvison's going to join us in about 30 minutes. She is leading a concerned parent group trying to get high school football played in Louisiana. We'll hear from her and what they're doing in about 30 minutes. Russ Mitchell in hour 3. One thing that I would like to point out. We did the story about Florida and their tests, their testing, and how Florida had no positive tests among its football players in August. How many players are on a football team? Brain, how many players are on a football team? Just play along with
Aren't they posted up like 80?
85 scholarship players. And you got walk-ons too. So you can have 120, but you have defections and all. Let's make it easy. Let's call it 100.
Okay.
100 players. How often are these players supposed to be tested?
Is it daily or is it weekly? It's daily, isn't it?
Let's go with daily. Let's go with weekly. Let's just say it's weekly. Okay? Over the course of a month, I'm not good at math, so I need your help. Over the course of a month, if you're going to test 100 players weekly, how many tests would that be?
100 players weekly, so call it a 4-week month. That would be 400 tests.
400 tests. Well, Florida only had 298 positive or tests administered. And by the way, it's more than once a week. I think it's 3 times a week is what the NCAA and the leagues are guiding for. So it should have been like 1,200 actually. They only administered 298 tests. Why do you think that is, Brain?
I don't have a clue.
Oh, really? What is the thing I have been yelling about for a month here that no one is paying attention to? I keep screaming this, and no one is paying attention to me.
Once someone tests positive?
Once someone tests positive, you don't have to test again. Had it confirmed to me last night also that the same is true in the NFL. If an NFL player tests positive for COVID-19, they do not have to test again for the rest of the year. I'm not good at math, but that kind of spells it out there, doesn't it? Do you think Nick Saban is having like COVID misted into his locker room? He's got COVID misters. Do you think?
Is he figuring out how to give him like a light case so nobody really gets hurt?
Hey, go sit next to him. Hey, give him a swig of your Powerade.
No, don't wipe the bottle off first.
Here, use my napkin. Wait, you don't have to wash your hands. Oh, man.
Coach, I forgot my mask. Use his.
My point is, people are concerned that once the season starts, you'll have these swaths of players testing positive. Not if they've already gotten COVID-19, because they're not going to test them during the season if they've already had it. And by the way, this isn't some cockamamie scheme to make sure you get a season in. That's in accordance with CDC guidelines. The Center for Disease Control. That's their guidelines. So we need to stop with this narrative about there's going to be, what if we have massive groups of players that all test positive? Like, the fact that LSU's entire offensive line had COVID last week is great news for LSU. It's great news. Because now you know you're not going to have to worry about that happening during the season. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers Nicholson Bluebonnet. Dine in, carry out, 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. My goodness, what more in the world could you want? I mean, look, there's tennis on. Okay, well, if you don't like tennis, that's cool. You could want something more than that. What about NBA playoffs? You got that as well. You can watch them at Pluckers. Every single Major League Baseball game, every single NBA playoff game. You realize we have football tomorrow? We've got UAB Central Arkansas. Get hyped, people. I don't care if you like those two schools or not. It is actual, real, for real college football. It's going down tomorrow, and you can watch it at Pluckers. You can belly up to the bar, drink an ice-cold draft beer, eat a whole mess of wings, and watch football on TV. That is Americana. That's what's been taken from us during COVID. But you know what? Tomorrow, we're taking it back. We got college football, we got wings, we got beer, we got Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine in or carry out, find your favorite sauce, and be part of Americana at Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
This is a house call. This is a test result. This is a prescription refill. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. Start your virtual visit today at Auctioner Health.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a new Camry for $239 per month, or take 0% financing for 6 years. $239 per month, or 0% for 6 years. So come on down.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, let's talk some brown water on a Whiskey Wednesday. Taylor Calandro joins us, Wine and Spirits Director over at Calandro's 2 locations in Baton Rouge. What's up, dude?
Not much, Matt. What's up?
I'm getting kind of geeked now. I saw the Lexington Herald-Leader posted this. You and I had talked about it a bit off, or you might have even mentioned it in passing, but the unicorn, the Blanton's Gold, is coming to the U.S., and I think it's just about to be released. So give us the backstory here on, like, the quick elevator story on Blanton's and Blanton's Gold.
So Blanton's is a part of the Buffalo Trace Sazerac portfolio. It comes from one of their mash bills. I can't remember which one. There's a few different ones, but it is a nice, easy drinking, full flavored bourbon with collectability factors.
So
6-ish-year-old.
So Blanton's relative to Blanton's Gold, explain.
So Blanton's, I think the main difference between Blanton's and Blanton's Gold is the proof. Regular Blanton's is 93. Blanton's Gold is 103, which I've tasted both of them. I guess I prefer the Blanton's Gold. It's hard to discern a difference in taste, in my opinion, but I've also never tried them against each other, so it's hard to tell when you taste things apart from each other.
So when you look at something that's 93 proof and 103 proof, so for those that are listening that maybe that's sort of Greek to them, how would you explain the difference between something that seems so similar but is obviously different?
Well, a lot of things that I tell my customers, one of the things I tell my customers is never judge a bourbon by its proof. I don't think going into buying a bourbon or any alcohol, for that matter, should be judged on what the proof is. Now, the higher proof can be discerned, I guess, in a way that there's more flavor. It's not cut a whole lot from when it comes out the barrel, which I think there's definitely some truth to that, obviously. And there's guys out there that just want high proof bourbon or non-chill filtered or stuff like that, just so they get the full flavor of the bourbon.
So I'm a little surprised. I know you say don't judge a bourbon by its proof, but I mean it's true though that higher proof bourbon and whiskey is hotter though. Yeah,
I mean, the majority of them are, but I have tasted. I like, just for example, when I'm tasting barrels, if I'm tasting 4 or 5 samples, I'll have some high proof bourbons, higher proof than the other samples that drink a little bit easier than the ones that are lower. I don't know the whole scientific thing behind it. Now, in general, you're right. The higher proof the bourbon, the more it's going to burn, the more of that bite you get. But I've been surprised. Doing barrel picks is a great way to tell the difference in different proofs and stuff. So, but like I said, like you said, it is, yes, higher proof will most of the time give you that bite. Yeah, you're correct.
Specifically with Blanton's Gold, this was just a UK release, correct? Prior?
Yeah, UK and like the UK owned islands.
Why?
I know a lot. I don't know what because Blanton's has a lot of different variations of Blanton's, and a lot that go all over the world. They got Japanese kind. They've done one for France, and it was a Bourbon Street bottle, I think.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, it's not just Blanton's Gold, and Blanton straight from the barrel. There are, I don't know how many different ones they've done, but they've done a whole bunch. I mean, they've got some exclusively for the Japanese market. They do all kinds of stuff. They're just trying to grow the brand.
Yeah.
And it's worked tremendously, obviously.
Oh, there's no question. So does anybody have, like, does average Joe have a legitimate chance of scoring a bottle of this?
I doubt it.
Huh.
I can't see the whole lot coming, especially Louisiana. So it'll probably be, not probably, it will be a raffle bottle. I have not heard of any numbers or allocation anything like that. But if I'm just guessing, and this is based off of no information that I've heard, that it's going to be very limited.
All right. Well, I'll just drink some of yours. Taylor Calandro is with us.
I thought you had one.
I do. I do.
I'll just drink some of yours because I don't have any.
Okay, fair enough. You come over and we'll drink some. Thanks for coming on as always, man. I appreciate it.
All right, Matt. Thanks.
That is Taylor Calandro. This is After Further Review.
AFR.
Brought to you by GMFS Mortgage. GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. This is the day. Matt, you said yesterday was the day. Well, it was supposed to be, but you didn't call. So today is the day. GMFS Mortgage. Log on first. GMFSmortgage.com. Find the local lender nearest you. There are loan officers all over Louisiana, GMFS Mortgage loan officers that work with GMFS Mortgage all over the state. They're our state's largest local lender. All loan decisions are made right here. But the thing you have to know is if you are a homeowner and your rate is above a 4, you have got to call GMFS Mortgage. Let them run the numbers, see if they can save you money on your mortgage payment. What if you could save $200, $300, $500, $1,000? What if you could save on your mortgage every single month? More money for you to keep in your pocket. You got to take advantage of these historically low rates. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage. Changing lives.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge. Innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This is big. Really big. I mean, really, really, really big. Because Honda's summer clearance event is going on right now at Richards Honda. With 0 to the 4th power on brand new Honda Civics. That's 0 down, 0 due at signing, 0 security deposit, and 0 first month payment. Plus, summer clearance on every new vehicle in stock. Just another reason why people call Richards Honda the smart choice. I-12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Rockets and Thunder Game 7 tonight to wrap up the first round of the NBA playoffs. Houston had leads of 2-0 and 3-2 in this series. And ESPN's Ryan Holland says the pressure is on for James Harden.
You say, man, this guy could be the greatest scorer in history. He's unguardable. Let me tell you something, brother. If he doesn't show up ready to play, this is going to be one of the most historical meltdowns that we have ever seen.
Ryan Hollins on the Max Kellerman Show. ESPN will have both playoff games tonight, starting with the Heat and Bucks at 6:30 Eastern. Thunder and Rockets also here on ESPN Radio starting at 8:30 Eastern. Georgia quarterback Jamie Newman is opting out with COVID-19 concerns. He'll start preparing for the NFL draft. Newman's a grad transfer from Wake Forest who is expected to be the starter. This just in, the NCAA will furlough about 600 Indianapolis employees for at least 3 weeks. Some will be furloughed for up to 8 weeks. Almost all of the NCAA's revenue comes from the men's basketball tournament, which was canceled this year.
With thousands of locally owned Napa stores across the nation, chances are that wherever you call home, they do too. So whether you stop by a local Napa Auto Parts store, Napa Auto Care Center, or visit Napa online, you can count on Napa know-how.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And three.
And the brain got a poop.
We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one, folks. About 15 minutes, we'll talk to Claire Harvison. Just a concerned mom. I shouldn't label it as just a concerned mom, but that's what she is. She's a mom, and she's trying to galvanize parents to get high school football played this fall in Louisiana, and she's sort of starting a movement. So we'll talk to her about that in about 15 minutes. Russ Mitchell next hour. Many thanks to Sean Fazende, who was with us last hour. And Sean dotted a lot of the I's and crossed a lot of the T's with respect to the Alvin Kamara situation. Just as a catch-up, Kamara was apparently holding out contract-related. Saints are offering around $12 million. Kamara wants more than that. There were reports of a trade, but Kamara was back at practice today, yet still without a deal, and the season starts a week from Sunday. So there's a lot of moving parts here, but I want to do my best to kind of move through some of my what I'm thinking here with regard to a lot of the questions people have about this Kamara situation. Number one, many have asked about the possibility of trading Alvin Kamara, if it's something the Saints would actually consider doing. From my perspective, I don't think there's any doubt that the Saints would trade Alvin Kamara if they got the right price. The Saints traded Reggie Bush to Miami. When Sean Payton got here, he traded Dante Stallworth. He's traded Jimmy Graham to Seattle. They traded Darren Sproles to Philly. They traded Kenny Stills because he was a locker room problem, but a super productive guy that was a fifth-round pick. They traded Brandon Cooks, who was a first-round draft pick, shipped him up to New England. If your name is not Drew Brees, you are tradable, period. They will trade you. So to just unequivocally say, the Saints are going to trade Brandon Cooks, I don't buy that. If they got the right offer, Alvin Kamara, obviously. If they got the right offer, they'd trade him. Now, I don't know if they're going to get that offer. And that's probably the most important thing. The other thing we know about the Saints when it comes to negotiations like this is that, generally speaking, Mickey Loomis has his number, and once they reach that number, they're not budging. And I am certain that for the player and for the player's agent, that can be infuriating. And at times, it has bitten New Orleans and the player. Look at Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram wanted more than the Saints were willing to give. The Saints had their number. They were stuck on it. That was it. This is your market value. This is what we're offering. And Ingram said, I can get more. And he went and hit the free agent market, and he got about $100K more from Baltimore. Negligible. Basically the same after taxes and fees and everything. It was negligible. It was the same thing. Both guys got stubborn. They dug in their heels. They couldn't make a deal, and they severed. It broke off. Same thing happened with Von Bell. They dug in their heels. They couldn't make a deal. Same thing. I think Von Bell got less. I'm almost certain. We need to go look up the numbers. I think Von Bell got less from Tennessee than what New Orleans was offering. So, man, point being, Saints are not afraid to trade anybody. If your name is not Drew Brees, they will trade you for the right price. And the Saints are, while they overspend and while they kick the can down the road a lot when it comes to these deals, which puts them in an awful cap situation, they have their number and they are rigid when it comes to that. I definitely want Alvin Kamara on this team. It is disingenuous for anybody to sit here today and say, the Saints are better off without him. That's just not true. Alvin Kamara is a dynamic player. He's caught at least 80 balls each of his 3 years in New Orleans. That includes last year when, as he admitted, he was playing basically on one leg with a torn knee. And when he is right, he is a great complement to what was Mark Ingram, now Latavius Murray. He can help you in the return game. We know all the reasons why Alvin Kamara is dynamic. And why we all know the Saints are a better football team with Alvin Kamara on the roster. Period. Not debatable. They are better with him than without him. So you absolutely want Alvin Kamara. Not only for this year, but beyond, because if you believe like I do that this is it for Drew Brees, a guy like Kamara helps ease that transition next year to Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill or whoever is the next quarterback. Having Kamara is a great security blanket, along with Mike Thomas. Whoever is the next quarterback is coming into an offense with a really solid bookend tackles, two young interior players, a world-class receiver in Mike Thomas, and a player like Alvin Kamara. That is really appealing for whoever is next. But there are some things that are pretty obvious here as well. One of the reports after we learned that the Saints were open to trading Kamara is that there were 4 teams that inquired. 4. For a player as dynamic as Kamara, he also has a skill set that doesn't fit every offense. Alvin Kamara's skill set doesn't work in Tennessee, where they got Derrick Henry. There is a limited pool for teams that need a running back, that are willing to spend that amount, that can use Kamara in as versatile a way as Sean Payton does. It's a limited pool. Only 4 teams inquired, and apparently none were willing to offer that first-round draft pick. Because if you did, you'd offer a first-round pick, and then you'd have to sign Kamara to the deal. Now, you could say, well, I'd rather give up a first-round pick to get Alvin Kamara, a proven commodity in his prime, and sign him to a 4 or 5 year deal, then draft a running back and hope it works out. At least you have a sure thing, which is true. But if that were the case, there would have been offers. And we don't apparently see any offers. So at that price, the market is telling Alvin Kamara, look, you want 13, 14, 15 million, whatever it is. There are no takers at that price. So in that respect, it actually benefits New Orleans. If Kamara's not going to get top money elsewhere, okay, play out this season, hit unrestricted free agency next year. Maybe you have a monster season this year at $2.1 million, $2.133 million. Have a monster season and then go sign a big free agent deal next offseason. Maybe. Or maybe you have a good, not great year, and you're in the exact same situation next year, and with the salary cap coming down from $200 million to $175 million, and the Saints already having $246 million in salary cap commitments for next year, they're going to be looking to cut salary and not spend. And, oh, by the way, you've also got Marshawn Lattimore and Ryan Ramczyk and DeMario Davis coming due next year. Alvin Kamara is not going to be the priority next year like he would be right now. Mickey Loomis is negotiating from a extreme position of power and strength right now. Listen, Saints are reportedly offering in the neighborhood of $12 million a year for Alvin Kamara. That's more than look, we went over this before. I told you what I think he's worth. I think he's worth 10.5. I mean, you've got a rushing champion in Derrick Henry who got $12.5 million. You got that big gap. Kenyon Drake's at 8.5. Kamara's there are some aspects where Kamara and Kenyon Drake are on par. I think Kamara's a little more dynamic in his ability to run and catch the ball out of the backfield, specifically in this offense. So I said split the difference, give him 10.5. And the Saints are up at 12 a year or more, in the neighborhood of 12.5 a year. That's more than I'd be willing to pay. I think Kamara would be silly not to take it because I don't know how he gets above that. He's not going to reset the market. Certainly not going to get McCaffrey money resetting the market. And he says he doesn't want that. But I also don't think he's going to approach Zeke. When you start talking about these guys that have led the NFL in touches, Kamara's not even an every down back. And this is the thing that sucks about a negotiation because you have to point out the blemishes. It's someone you love and you want to be on your team so much so that you're willing to offer $12 million a year, $50 million over 4 seasons. You obviously see the value in your investing, but now you have to point out the warts as to why you're not willing to go higher. Ultimately, though, Kamara being back at practice on Wednesday is a great indicator that he wants to be on the team. He plans to be with New Orleans a week from Sunday when they open up at home against Tampa Bay and hopefully go win another championship. At what price? We don't know. As far as the salary cap, I ain't worried about that either. Because I've been fielding questions from you on this show for a decade about cap hell. Every year it's cap hell. Saints are in cap hell. And every year they make it work. They're not mathematicians. They're cap magicians is what they are. They figure out every stinking loophole to kick the can down the road to get the best team on the field right now. And eventually when you're not paying your quarterback $25 million a year, that will normalize a bit. Until then, keep doing what you do. Go win a Super Bowl. It's like we said. Nobody will remember what happens after you win the Super Bowl if you win the Super Bowl. Because winning the Super Bowl is what sets your legacy. So go win another Super Bowl. Get Peyton his second. Get Breeze his second. Send Breeze off into retirement with 2 Super Bowls, the same way John Elway did in 1998. And then you figure out your future after that. They're all in to win right now. Kamara's part of that. They got to make this work. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're with us here. Knock out a quick break. From the pros to the preps, some parents are trying to make a power play to get high school sports, in particular high school football, playing sooner than later. We'll talk to Claire Harvison, who started this movement. That's next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're online at lainsurance.net, lainsurance.net. Happens every week. Literally, every single week, someone emails me, tweets me, calls me, posts on Facebook. Hey, man, what's the name of that insurance company you talk about that shops for rates? Insurance Network of Louisiana. And I get it. I know how it works. It's just got to be the right timing for you, where you get that notice in the mail from State Farm, Allstate, Liberty Mutual. Liberty Mutual's the worst, but one of those, and they go, hey, here's a notice that we're increasing your rate. And you finally look and you go, I'm paying what? Hey, who's that company Moscona talks about? Insurance Network of Louisiana. What they'll do is they'll go shop dozens of the top-rated companies in the world that they have relationships with. And they'll let those companies bid to see who can give you the best coverage for the least amount of money. You win. Better coverage, less money. Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. lainsurance.net.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, moving through hour two. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Russ Mitchell, 1 hour from right now. NFL starts a week from Thursday. You actually have college football tomorrow night. Yet here in the state of Louisiana, high school football should be on the field, but they are not, and parents are not thrilled about that. And Claire Harvison is a mom of a high school senior who's kind of started a little bit of a movement here, trying to pressure the governor and the LHSAA into acting to get high school football back this fall. And Claire Harvison joins us now on the show. Claire, thanks so much for the time. How are you?
I'm good. I'm nervous. I'm just a regular mom with a loud voice that inadvertently found herself talking to a lot of people this week.
Well, you should be terrified because I am a very imposing person, Claire. This is what I do. I strong arm and I bully people on the radio all the time. Ask Brain. I fire him 10 times a show.
Kick rocks, Matt.
So we got a fan. Hot fan. Look at that. See, you know I'm not a bad guy.
Do you remember when you posted a sign from ESPN Game Day that said Nick Saban can kick rocks? It's a long time ago.
Vaguely.
That was my daughter. So
all right. Well, you know what?
We're a feisty group of women over here at my house. So.
Claire, we have this synergy already. So you're a fan of the show, I guess, or at least you're a forced listener of the show. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of the game of football. My father played briefly for LSU. I grew up in Shreveport. My brother played for Byrd High School. I've gone to every LSU game my whole life, driving from Shreveport, Louisiana to go see those games. And football is just something that's been in my blood for a long time. I have a son, Blocker, who's named after my father who passed away. That's who I'm fighting for with all these conversations. And it is not a football name. It is a German name, but they actually both happen to be linemen on football teams. So,
very cool.
So I am a listener of the show. I love sports. I love the game of football.
Don't worry about it at all. Let's start with some of the particulars. So you post on Facebook a letter to Eddie Bonine and the executive committee of the LHSAA. What are you?
Well, before that, and what started the firestorm is really a group of moms that got together and posted a letter to the governor of Louisiana, and that happened on Saturday.
Okay.
And that post, and it was, I'm the face and I'm the loudest of the voices, but there's a group text that started with some moms at the beginning of quarantine. Many of us have seniors, many of us have athletes, and when we watched our neighboring states kick off on ESPN on Friday night, knowing that we were scheduled to be in our senior children's jamboree games, it really kind of ignited a fire in us. And my post to the governor was a collective group of voices, and it did get shared over 2,000 times. One of the people who saw that post was the Attorney General's wife. She's the mom of an athlete too, and just organically the post grew, and then his office reached out to me, and there's just been a lot of conversations and a lot of things that have happened.
So let me, just to be clear, the governor's office reached out or the Attorney General's office reached out?
The Attorney General's office reached out. He just reached out to say your post struck a chord with me, and as a parent of a high school athlete, how can I help? And so he has written several things that said his letter to the LHSAA was inspired by that post. And to be clear, that post was representative of a lot of voices. I'm the one who posted it, but it's a group of women who collectively wrote that letter.
Okay. Claire Harvison is our guest. She's the mom of a high school senior. I see we have a picture here. We're showing that. Is that your son there at Dunham?
I can't see, but if he's a tall, good-looking brunette with a Dunham jersey, then that's him.
I would assume that would be him. And you're doing fine. There's no reason at all for you to be nervous. You're natural. So, okay. So what's next, Claire? Like what are we hoping to accomplish here? That's a next logical step.
Look, from the beginning, I would speak to anyone who wanted to call me. I'm not siding with the Attorney General, or we are really striving to not make this political, but more a parental issue. And truly the thing we want is to take back the opportunity to make decisions for our kids.
Amen.
We as moms, my son's been playing tackle football since 5th grade. That has never been an easy decision. Many moms have, alongside me, as the kids have gotten bigger and stronger and faster and tackle harder, have said, you know what, football is too much for me. That's not, I'm going to guide my child to another sport. So we know the inherent risk of football, and we have always made the decision that the emotional, mental aspect would be a part of that team and that game, and walking alongside the guys and being coached by the men that coach them. We've always felt like as a family, and I know collectively voices across the state of Louisiana feel the same, that's always been our choice. And, this morning I was so rushed, and I'm trying not to get lost in the comments and the things. It's hard because I'm not a reckless person. I'm not someone who wants to go about doing this recklessly. But if other states all around us have found a safe way to do that, then there has to be a way. Why is Louisiana the only state? If you look at a map, every single state that touches the border of Louisiana is playing high school football. They have all the same risk factors. They have all the same challenges, but yet we are just stuck here on this island of indecision in the state of Louisiana, and it's affecting our kids, and I'm not okay with that.
So, Claire, what is next? I think right now you're preaching to an audience that very much sides with you.
Right.
This is obviously a sports talk audience.
I bet anything. There's some comments that say I'm reckless, and I have a 70-something-year-old mom who is going to watch his game on the live stream because that's a better choice for her than coming in person. And I support that.
So
I mean, 100% understand. So anyway,
there's a whole bunch of people that get really loud on the internet and yell and call you names. You just got to brush that off. The overwhelming majority of people listening right
to talk to those people.
well, hold on. The overwhelming majority of people listening right now are going to side with you, and they say, "Okay, I love this idea. What do we do?" So, what is the action that people? What is the actionable response that people can have to all of this attention that you've gotten? I mean, the 2,000 shares. You're on radio. You're on TV. So, what do people do?
Well, there's a big meeting at the Capitol this Friday. Parents can attend that meeting. I'll post or I can share with you. There's a link for parents that can't be in attendance to share their reasons why they hope that their child will be able to play. There's an email address. And there's a group called, I'm nervous, I'm forgetting, Extracurricular Activities, kind of a group that because this doesn't just impact football players, it impacts all the spirit groups and everyone involved. So the big next step is to support the effort at the Capitol on Friday.
What time is
And it's at 9 a.m. Okay. And, of course, it's 9 a.m. And I'm sure I can share it with you after this. I can text you the details of that meeting.
That would be great. If you would do that, then we'll share it along to our audience. But 9 a.m. Friday at the Capitol, and anyone is encouraged to attend. Have you gotten any reaction or response from either the Attorney General's office or the Governor's office that would indicate that this is actually something that the opportunity to play football this fall is something that is going to happen sooner than later?
I'm very hopeful. The one thing that everyone keeps talking about is the liability. As I mentioned before, parents are, the overwhelming voice from parents is please let us take back that liability. We'll sign things. The waivers have always been in place. So the big sticking point seems to be adding COVID language. I don't know why it's become such a big deal and people not wanting to take on the liability. But I think if you read the Attorney General's letter, he has offered the LHSAA help with modifying waivers to cover COVID and to move forward with this. So I'm hopeful that Friday we'll move this stiff ahead and we'll be playing football soon.
I think we're all hoping for the same. Claire Harvison, thanks so much for some time. Get those details to us, and we'll be glad to share it with our audience, okay?
I sure will. I'll do that as soon as I hang up. I'm sure I already have moms texting me those things so I can share them with you.
And I'll let Ryan know that you said to kick rocks.
That's right. And Ryan, I know Ryan too. So anyway, tell Ryan I said hi, and thank you so much for letting me be on your show today. I really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure, Claire. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
All righty. That is Claire Harvison. As she said, she just wanted to be described as the mom of a senior. And I think that's very relatable for an awful lot of people who are listening right now, who have kids who are normally participating in high school sports. And as she said, the extracurriculars, the spirit squads, cheerleaders, et cetera, who are all having this season impacted. And it would be different. You know what she said that was one of the most pointed things there? What I thought of instantly? It was, she said, we're sitting there watching these high school showcase games this weekend knowing our team should be playing as well. And if they're playing, why can't we? And that conversation became real because that's what's going to be happening in college football in a couple of weeks. And that's when the voices get louder, because when Claire and her family were watching other high schools, other states and play high school football, that's when they were really galvanized to act. What do you think it's going to be like in college football in a couple of weeks when the SEC, ACC, Big 12, Conference USA, AAC, they're all playing college football and the Big 10 sitting on the sideline? It's going to get much louder. So, but at 9 a.m. Friday at the Capitol, we'll get you more details if you want to participate. But the thing she said that resonates with me, it's like that's the reason why a few weeks back I did that rant when Cleo Fields put out his letter. Give parents the opportunity to make decisions for their families. I don't, in any point in my life, do I ever need a politician making a decision for me or my family. You don't know me or my family better than I do, and I don't need you in my life. So I'm all for that. Let people make their own decisions. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. I wanted to get to this last hour, but something happened to me today that it was mind-blowing. I had a mind-blowing experience earlier today. I really think that I'm I'm theorizing about a human behavior that happened I want to talk about. And also champs got their rings. And someone who fed her husband to a tiger is going to be on Dancing with the Stars. We got some great stuff coming up. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Think real estate. Think Darren James. If you need to sell your home, call the realtor that sells more homes than anyone. Call Darren James. Get your home sold. Darren Sell, 335-7666. 335-7666. You could literally call Darren right now. If he doesn't answer, he'll get right back to you. He's got the systems in place to help you get your home sold faster and to make you feel like, in spite of the fact that Darren has more listings and sells more properties than anyone, that you're his only client. You want to have a better experience with a realtor, better experience selling your home, faster results? Call Darren James. 335-7666. 335-7666 or agent225.com. Agent225.com. Tell Darren Matt sent you. Think real estate? Think Darren James.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Do you know the proper way to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in your office? We do. We're Jani-King, a leader in the cleaning industry for over 30 years, and we've developed comprehensive programs to address proper cleaning and disinfection. We have experience in applying disinfecting programs in hospitals, office buildings, schools, and other venues. Now we're ready to help and able to assist customers that need disinfecting services.
Jani-King, the king of clean.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a new Highlander for $4,000 off MSRP. Yes, $4,000 off MSRP, and we have many in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I'm learning a lot of stuff. You ever seen, Brain, did you see The Tiger King?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, Paul, did you watch Tiger King?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Explain to me Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin.
Because I did not. I did not watch. I've not seen a single episode. Now, my awareness, oddly enough, is like from the I'm a Savage, the TikTok thing.
Yeah.
They did like Carol Baskin, like
Killed her husband, whacked
him.
Yeah.
Don't tell me it didn't happen. Can't convince me it didn't happen or something like that.
Yeah, they've apparently reopened the investigation into whether or not she fed her husband to tigers.
So she killed her husband and fed him to a tiger?
Possibly, allegedly.
Or she... Well, wouldn't the tiger poop out bones and stuff? I mean, it would be...
I don't know.
Or the tiger just wouldn't eat the bones?
Possibly, or the bones could be disposed of as well, or... there's also the possibility that he just like left and went to Argentina or something.
So they never found him.
Right.
So she lives in Florida.
Yes.
And she killed her husband, allegedly. And fed him to a tiger.
Also allegedly.
Allegedly. And now she's going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
That's insane.
Did you know this?
No.
Oh, yeah. So Dancing with the Stars cast came out. And so I always look, because it's always interesting to see what athletes that they get on there, right? So Vernon Davis, who I hate, he's on there. I mean, Vernon Davis and Alex Smith basically ruined the greatest season ever. Saints season ever, right? I mean, I know they won it in 2009, but the 2011 team, can we all agree, was the best Saints team they had? Agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I hate Vernon Davis. Hope he loses. And then Johnny Weir, who you see on the Olympic coverage, he was an ice skater. They always do. They put like someone who has a dance background on this thing, and they just smoke show everybody on the whole thing, right? Just you're toast. Everyone else on this list, I don't know any of them. No, I know Nelly. Nelly's on there, which is actually pretty BA, because you know they're going to dance to Nelly songs, which is cool. Monica Aldama. Yes? No?
No clue.
Caitlin Bristow.
Nope.
Anne Hesh.
Oh yeah, Anne Heche. She was like really big in the 90s. Remember that movie Volcano?
No.
About the volcano erupting like from underground in Los Angeles. She was in that.
Okay.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Sky Jackson.
I feel like I should know that one.
Justina Machado.
Nope.
Jenny Mai.
Jenny Mai. Oh, wait. I think she's on one of those.
Jeannie Mai?
Yeah, I think she's on one of those daily, like, kind of like The View, but like one of the View offshoot shows. Like they've got a whole gaggle of them, like The View, The Talk, The Chew, The Yap. It's one of those panel shows where it's like 5 women.
Okay. AJ McLean, Jesse Metcalf, Nev Schulman, Chriselle Staus. Any? No?
Yeah, I'm pretty dialed out.
You know any of them?
I think AJ was one of the Backstreet Boys. Neve is the host of Catfish on MTV.
Listen. Oh, Neve, not Nev.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at Paulie. See? This is the point, isn't it? It's like they go get people from so many diverse backgrounds that they bring a lot of people to the show. It's why it's pretty smart. But Carol Baskin's on there. Why would they bring on someone who fed her husband to a tiger?
Because that's what you led with.
But if she's a criminal, I don't think you'd want someone who's wanted for murder.
No, she hasn't been convicted of anything, though. She just owns Big Cat Rescue down there in Florida.
And so they have a bunch of tigers down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they've recently reopened the investigation.
Is this one of the groups that PETA doesn't like because they house tigers, or is she like a friend of PETA?
So I don't think PETA likes any of them, but she would be a lot more in their favor than Joe Exotic was.
Who's Joe Exotic?
The main character, the Tiger King.
What does he do?
Well, he's in jail now, but he ran
He's in jail?
Yeah.
What happened? Did he kill his husband too?
No. Did he? Well, one of his husbands committed suicide.
Allegedly.
No, he actually did commit suicide.
Sorry.
He's in jail for trying to put a hit on Carol Baskin.
That's actually a part of it, yeah.
Oh,
he's in jail for a lot of things.
Why did he want to kill Carol Baskin?
Because Carol Baskin constantly wanted to shut him down.
And so he tried to kill her.
Yeah.
Have her killed.
Yeah.
And now he's in jail. And now she's going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
I can't keep up. Anyway, that's a thing that's happening. Also, today, I'm doing kind of a social experiment. Do you know how to use a roundabout?
Oh, first of all, the answer to your question is yes, but you're also about to get me triggered. But yes.
Okay. Paul, do you know how to use a roundabout?
I do.
Okay. Brain, if I said explain how to use a roundabout in the simplest term, what would you say?
You follow the yield signs to the right, and you continue to circle until it's time to get off.
Okay. Roundabouts are not very, apparently this is a very European thing, and they're not very common in Louisiana, at least not in Baton Rouge. I know there's one on LSU's campus by U High, but they're building one right now on Lobdell. If you don't live in Baton Rouge, don't worry. It's this gigantic intersection, and they're building a roundabout. Well, I never went that way. I used to in another lifetime because I worked at a different radio station that was on that that part of town. But now that I bring Drew to school, where he goes at St. Lillian Academy, which is down Goodwood, I come that way to work. I go the roundabout, and then I come up Government to the radio station here. And they're building a roundabout. Well, today I damn near T-boned a guy who's got he's got a truck and he's pulling a trailer. Well, I'm in the roundabout, and so he's trying to enter the roundabout. Well, there's a car in front of me, and he treats it like it's a four-way stop. So the car in front of me passes him, and then he comes and cuts in front of me. Like, I damn near T-boned this guy. Like, if I had actually been going 60, I would have put the front bumper of my car into his door. It would have been a devastating accident. But I saw him creeping, and so I swerved and missed him. And so I got to the next red light, and I pulled out my phone, and I went, do people in Baton Rouge not know how to use a roundabout? What was stunning to me, what would you think? Do people know how to use a roundabout?
You would hope they would, because there's not one. There's two on LSU's campus. There's one at the top of the hill.
Yeah, but that's not. But
there's a bunch of them in Central.
But that's
They've got
not
them in
really the top of
Walker.
the hill one. Is not really. But yes, it is. But LSU's so like a pedestrian campus now.
Yeah,
People rarely
fair.
ever. I mean, but the one by U High by the lakes is for sure.
Yes.
But this is a giant intersection that has a lot of volume on it. This one on Lobdell by Government Street. But what stunned me, though, is how many people like everybody's reply was, people are idiots, people don't know anything. And so I asked the question on Twitter, do you know how to use a roundabout? And 93.2% say yes. 93.2%. There's almost 1,000 votes on here. Only 6.8% say no. Now, maybe some of the yeses are lying. But here's my theory. How everyone says, oh, you're idiots, people are idiots, they don't know how to drive, they don't know how to use a roundabout, they're stupid, blah, 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 blibbity blue. Here's my theory. Just like in my circumstance today, say there's 10 cars in the roundabout. The one guy who screwed it up, if it's 1 out of 10 like this poll, every time you go into a roundabout, you're going to run into one idiot that doesn't know what he's doing. And you're going to think nobody knows how to use a roundabout. But it's really just the one idiot that messes it up for everybody else, but it alters your perception of whether or not people know how to use the roundabout.
That actually puts me slightly more at ease.
So the roundabout is a very good, like Hanny was telling me this when he walked out. He's like, I have a friend that's a structural engineer, or what do you say, like a structural engineer or something like that. He said and his friend said, roundabouts will reduce head-on collisions by 85%. Like, and it makes a ton of sense. Like, you don't have red lights. The theory is like, when you're in the roundabout, you don't stop. There are no stops. You just yield until you can make your way into the roundabout. And that makes a lot of sense. But I think you just have the one idiot out there every time you go into a roundabout that doesn't know what they're doing. So why were you going to be triggered?
Because I'm in the camp that believes that people just don't know what they're doing when it comes to a roundabout. That one at Lobdell, I have already seen 2 people go left. You have to make effort to not knock down cones to go left in the roundabout.
Into the roundabout.
Yes.
Went left into a roundabout.
Yes. And you have to
The entrance into the roundabout is angled to the right.
Yes.
But see, here's my thing, though. Again, I bet if you go car count, you traffic count right there. Brandon, if you set up shop at that Lobdell roundabout for an hour and counted every car, I bet the ratio would be 1 out of 10. It'd be 1 out of 10 who's an idiot. Or maybe a little less than 1 out of 10. But that one idiot could screw up the whole thing.
Yeah. I hope so. I hope you're right. Because that 1 out of 10 will eventually be like 1 out of 30.
It's the
weak continue to drop.
It's the weak link in the chain. You know, you got this big long chain, but you got that one weak link. Boom, breaks. It's just really fascinating because because we never had roundabouts in Baton Rouge, but when we lived a year in Houston with Drew, we lived by Herman Circle, which Herman Circle is a big circle, and I got a giant roundabout right there. That's where our apartment was, and we'd have to go through it to get to the hospital to see Drew every day. And so I went into a roundabout every day for a year that I was there. And, I mean, and that's like a 3-lane, right? It's a big one. I mean, anyway. And then what about the people that, like, you're in the left lane of the roundabout and you need to exit the roundabout, so then you cut off traffic? It's like, no, just keep going in a circle. Just make the circle again so you can get over.
Then you become Clark Griswold.
Yeah, but everyone always says that, but that's the extreme. Like, hey, kids, Big Ben. But I get it. But just take 5 seconds and make the circle again. Or 10 seconds and make the circle again and then exit. Don't cause a wreck.
Yeah. It'll happen again. You'll be right back there.
Yeah, it's a circle. You just keep going in the circle. They're not going to send you to Lafayette. You're not going to be on the other side of Lee at Brightside at that intersection. You're going to be good. You can get back. You just make the circle. You look really upset.
Because the level of idiocy it takes to screw up a roundabout. They seem pretty simple. And when they've got the cones out there, it's like training wheels for a roundabout. The cones are like, just follow the cones, people.
Yeah, follow the cones. But Brain, 93% say they know how to use a roundabout. I just think that the idiots, it's so glaring that you're an idiot that it makes it feel like it's more people that are idiots than aren't. So hopefully we help some of the idiots today. And I don't mean to call you an idiot. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I just want you to know that I love you and I respect you. But a roundabout's a really easy thing, and you need to figure that out. Do you feel better?
I actually do. Those numbers do make me feel slightly better.
Okay, good. Because Twitter polls with 945 votes are totally scientific. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River Cities 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. Check the reviews. Check the reviews. How many companies beg you to go read their reviews? River Cities 1 Hour Air will, because you're going to see glowing reviews from their customers. River Cities 1 Hour Air. They have expertly trained technicians who have been with the company for years. They take a ton of pride in who they hire at River Cities 1 Hour Air to give you the best experience possible. They offer their employees benefits, retirement, health benefits. They do like company crawfish boils and company cruises and things like that for the whole family. They want to retain great employees so that they know the people they send to your house you're going to be thrilled with. It's River Cities 1 Hour Air. 752-0001. 752-0001. Mention the Moscona special. Save $25 on any system repair. At River Cities 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Craving garden color? Clegg's Nursery is bursting with color, grown fresh in our greenhouses. Colorful bedding plants, incredible edibles, flowering shrubs, and beautiful trees.
Our business is knowing, the business of growing. Yard and garden questions are answered here.
Clegg's is a must-do family tradition. Just plant something. It's good for mind, body, and soul. Clegg's Nursery, serving Baton Rouge and Denham Springs. CleggsNursery.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a new Highlander for $4,000 off MSRP. Yes, $4,000 off MSRP, and we have many in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
It's After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Joseph Labatt on Twitter said, Matt, the worst are the people who stop in the middle of a roundabout to let someone in. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the one idiot can screw up the entire thing.
And the one he's trying to let in probably knows how to do it, so he's not willing to go.
Right.
Because he knows he needs to wait his turn.
Jared Bork. Matt, have you ever been to Hammond? That's a crazy mess on the roundabouts. I've been to Hammond.
They're right off of I-12.
I've been to Hammond. Paul, look at Paul shaking his head. Paul went to Southeastern. Are the Hammond roundabouts a crazy mess?
They weren't there when I was in school, but yeah, they're pretty bad.
They're bad. Oh, wow. See, this is a really interesting social experiment for me. To be continued. Meantime, Brain, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
I have a question.
What is your question?
I have a question. Can we include Carol Baskin in Dancing with the Stars in Tigers in the pros?
I don't know how.
She's a Tiger
person. Yeah, I guess that was, we just have the implied that it's LSU Tigers, which you're 100% right.
I mean, there is an LSU logo on the thing. There's also a Kentucky's Best Hemp logo right there.
Did you know that when the guy from across the river tried to replace his Tiger, when he went to replace his Tiger from the Tiger truck stop, which now has a camel, he actually called
a camel?
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, the Tiger truck stop has a camel now.
Tony the Tiger's died?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So apparently when he tried to replace Tony the Tiger, he went to Joe Exotic.
He couldn't get a camel? He couldn't get a tiger and he got a camel instead?
Got a camel.
They got a camel over there?
There's a camel.
That seems wrong.
Oh, there's more stories, but we're going to run out of time.
Okay. BestFreeHemp.com. Shout out to Michael Lobello. Michael Lobello tweeted me his Best Free Hemp bottle. I'm telling you, Kentucky's Best Hemp. BestFreeHemp.com. Get it for free. BestFreeHemp.com. Don't even pay for shipping. BestFreeHemp.com.
So the Hawk has gone Hollywood.
BestFreeHemp.com.
Los Angeles Chargers are on Hard Knocks this season. Episode 4, which aired last night, featured Braden Fajoko leading his teammates and breaking it down to hopefully carry what quickly became a game day tradition outside of Tiger Stadium all the way to Los Angeles. Did you get to see it, Matt?
Yes. But you didn't. I didn't know when it was in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's no way I wasn't leading with it. I love when they do the Hawk outside of Tiger Stadium.
That's an appropriate kicker as well.
Yeah, you're right. There was no wrong spot for it.
Just go.
All right. If you're looking for value in your upcoming fantasy football draft, be on the lookout for Justin Jefferson in Minnesota. Marcus Grant of NFL Fantasy Live on the NFL Network said while most folks are keying on CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, and Henry Ruggs for rookie receivers, Grant's focused on Jefferson. Says his production in the slot at LSU last year, plus filling Stephon Diggs' shoes should give him a ton of targets this year. You can add Joe Mixon to the parade of Bengals hyped about Joe Burrow. A day after signing his $48 million deal, Mixon said,
Who cares? We got the Haka. There, pull it up,
Okay,
Paul. This is way more impressive than anybody thinking Joe Mixon. Who cares about Joe Mixon?
I
There's
can
the
keep
Haka.
talking about
There it is. There it is.
Well,
Look,
watch
here he
the
goes.
Haka and
Here he goes. Joe Mixon. Here
Is
he
there
goes.
audio?
Haka. No.
Okay.
How about that? Here he goes. Everybody gets. Remember Carl the Cat getting all fired up outside of Tiger Stadium while Fehoko did the Haka? It's so good. Look at the guys stand. They're not bending their knees. Look at the guys behind them. They're not bending their knees. They're just hitting their thighs. This is really good though. Look at them. They're fired up. He's getting them psyched. You better believe that. He's making the team just for this, right?
I would hope so.
He's
getting
making
a little
airtime.
never hurt.
So good.
DJ
Look at it. It's so ready.
DJ LeMahieu hit 2 home runs last night. Aaron Nola went 8 and only gave up 2 hits, and Kevin Gausman got a win as well.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEYE.com. 924-2020, 924-2020. Let's say you're a member of the Chargers. Let's just say hypothetically you're a member of the Chargers. And you're at practice. And you get this big circle around this giant man who's leading you in the haka. But it's blurry because you can't see great. I got an idea. If you want to see the haka 2020, next time Braden Fehoko breaks it down in the middle, go to the Williamson Eye Center. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson. LASIK is an amazing, affordable, safe option to let you restore your sight. I know. I did my LASIK with Dr. Blake Williamson 2 years ago. It was actually September 11th. A week from Friday will be 2 years since I had my LASIK, and I'm still seeing better than 2020. You can as well. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
When you want the best of Louisiana, you don't go to a superstore. We know what we like, and we like it local. Same goes for banking. As one of Louisiana's largest local banks, we offer homegrown services crafted around you. Gulf Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
$10,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Callahan Injury Lawyer.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. There's an NBA playoff bubble doubleheader on ESPN starting at 6:30 Eastern. Game 2 for the Bucks and Heat with Miami leading 1-0. After that, a game also here on ESPN Radio. Game 7 for the Thunder and Rockets. Houston coach Mike D'Antoni could be in trouble with a loss tonight. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith.
You let go of Chris Paul. You trade him to Oklahoma City. You think he's done. You've upgraded to Russell Westbrook, and you go into a Game 7 with James Harden not having dissipated in any way. Still the superstar offensive player that he is.
Stephen A. on Get Up. Yankees closer Aroldis Chapman gets a 3-game suspension for throwing at the head of Rays infielder Michael Brasso Tuesday night. Both managers, Aaron Boone and Kevin Cash, each get a 1-game suspension. Chargers coach Anthony Lynn says Tyrod Taylor is his starting quarterback. They will play the Bengals in Week 1. Washington coach Ron Rivera names Dwayne Haskins as his starting quarterback.
Brought to you by Cooper Tires. Go with great tires that do what tires should do and cost what tires should cost. Go with the Coopers.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
The Brain.
Hey, the brain got a poop.
And Toby Tom play. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
Hump day.
Yeah.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hey, Brain.
Yeah.
Did we get breaking news in the top of the hour?
We did.
It's hump day.
Please tell me the breaking news.
Got a call from Todd who says that literally right now there's a T-bone accident in the roundabout on Lobdell.
Hump day.
I mean, I hope everybody's okay. But how could you not be okay when you're probably going about 15 miles an hour?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's always the one idiot Brain.
It is.
It's hump day.
Speaking of idiots, Russ Mitchell. You think he's listening right now, Brain?
No.
I hope not. Because then if he doesn't answer in 12 minutes, then I'll know exactly why. Exactly why.
Hump day.
I dropped my paper. Hang on.
Hey, also...
Take it, Brain.
Also, Rick Ward letting us know that the Tiger truck stop was closed, or sold to new ownership, so the camel is in a zoo now.
Oh!
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Brain, if you missed that open door, I was like, Christ almighty, come on, man.
No, then I had to let the camel speak.
Oh, my God. All right. Hope y'all are having a good day. Russ Mitchell in about 11 minutes from right now. We missed Russ last week, and we talked about this at the open of the show. Russ and I, last Wednesday, we texted about the topics we were going to discuss. We were ready for the show, the time. We call, he doesn't answer. I text him. I'm like, hey, man, answer. Then I send him the number. I'm like, you call us if you're having trouble. Nothing. I text him back. Bro, ... That was it. Nothing. The next day, I'm like, hey, man, are you okay? Nothing. Then I see him tweeting, and I'm like, did something happen? What happened here? did I upset him? Like, I was talking to off air with Brain about this yesterday because I was legit concerned that I'd really upset Russ about something. This morning, 8:33 a.m. Central, so Russ is in Arizona, so 6:33 a.m., he sends me a text. Hey, brother, just realized you likely never got this message. Been so busy, I forgot to pay the bill and they shut off the phone. I'm doing so many Zoom calls, I didn't realize until I got home at 8 and thought, been a long time since I heard from my family. He sent me a screenshot of the text that he sent that never came through, where he said, bleep me, I have to bail, I'm a fraud. He's like, I have blah, 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 moved a meeting to 3 o'clock, which is 5 o'clock Central. Anyway, so Russ doesn't hate us. He is going to be on the show, and we'll go over win totals for the projected win totals for the SEC West when Russ is with us here shortly. All right, it's after further review. The biggest story that we're all following here locally today is Alvin Kamara was back at practice for the New Orleans Saints. One of the big questions has been about the possibility of trading Alvin Kamara. Ian Rappaport was on Good Morning Football today, and one of the things that I was curious is, was that Kamara's side asking for a trade, or was that the Saints then saying, okay, well, if we can't reach a deal, we'll be open to a trade? Here's what Ian Rappaport said on Good Morning Football today, explaining that situation.
Yeah, the entire world surrounding the New Orleans Saints and Alvin Kamara just exploded last night with all sorts of things. So let's sort through it a little bit. First of all, you mentioned the missed practices. My understanding is when you talk to people close to Alvin Kamara and talk to Kamara himself, which I did yesterday, he does not want, he did not ask to be traded, made no trade demand. And in his mind, when all this was going on, he thought they were negotiating toward an extension. And then you mentioned the absences. He did show up to the facility, went through coronavirus testing, had some treatment on his back, and then did not show up for practice. You talked to the other side, talked to some Saints people, and their belief is that the absences from practice were unexcused, and Kamara, in fact, is expected to be fined $200,000, $50,000 for each day for his absences. Whoa. However, you then go through the whole thing. Are they actually potentially looking to trade him? Is he up for a trade? My understanding is, as of late last night, cooler heads had prevailed. The two sides were expected back at the negotiating table, try to work through a long-term deal, try to get this thing done. Kamara is expected back at practice today, and we'll see if everyone can kind of close the gap. It's not that big a gap. Close the gap and finally get that long-term extension. And as far as the fines, if they wanted, they could work that into a potential new deal and handle it that way.
So as far Ian Rappaport, NFL Network, Kamara was at practice today. With respect to the gap that he disclosed and saying they're not that far apart, that's where I keep hitting a wall. Because the Saints, notoriously, Mickey Loomis will be stubborn and will be patient, sometimes to a fault. And when they reach their max, they don't go any further. And it feels like they might be there with Kamara. We saw this with Von Bell. We saw this with Mark Ingram, where ultimately the deals those guys got on the open market were just – actually, Von Bell got less than the Saints offered, and Ingram got maybe like $100,000 more than the Saints offered. In some respects, as we've seen, when the Saints get to their number, that's their number. Now, there's a lot of opinions. If you missed, I did a full segment on this to start hour 2. You can go listen to it on demand at 1045ESPN.com, presented by Brett Golf, or on the After Further Review YouTube channel. But one of the things that has been suggested is the potential of holding out. Jerome Bettis, the Bus, CBS Sports, was on In the Bag podcast. I don't know what In the Bag podcast is, and quite honestly, I don't care. But Bettis is one of the NFL's, he has a top 10 rusher in the history of the NFL and Hall of Fame running back. And he actually thinks Alvin Kamara shouldn't be back at practice.
I'd say every circumstance is different. I think Alvin Kamara, he has put enough work in with that organization for them to know what he's capable of. So I think definitely he needs to hold out, because you got to understand, a running back only has a certain amount of carries in his body. And once those carries get to that number, then that's it. So it's not about years, it's about carries. So I think, he has to be very conscious of that. And yeah, if I was him, I probably would.
While I understand what Jerome Bettis is saying, it's a completely different era. remember, under the new CBA, if you hold out for what is determined to be a material period of time, that's how it's written. If a player fails to perform his contract services for the club for a material period of time, then you lose an accrued season. So what that means is Alvin Kamara, if he holds out, he next year would not become an unrestricted free agent. He would be a restricted free agent, meaning his services would still be in the Saints' control. Holding out for Alvin Kamara, holding out is stupid. Unless if you feel like you can force their hand. Listen, Zeke held out and got paid. Melvin Gordon held out and ultimately caved, was back with the Chargers, and then now he's in Denver. And they never gave him the contract. Dalvin Cook threatened to hold out back in June and never did. He's going through practices. Like, it's one of the things that's just perplexing about the way the CBA is written. The concessions the players wanted are mind-boggling. But here we are. In any event, my hope, I'll reiterate, is they get a deal done with Kamara to keep him in New Orleans, but at a fair price. $13-14 million. I don't know how New Orleans gets to that number. Their number's 12. We'll see if Kamara will sign it. If not, then he plays out this year. See what happens next year on the open market. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out. 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. It's Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Obviously, a lot going on in the Southeastern Conference. LSU, 2 major players opting out, but it's not just LSU. A&M's had 2 starting cornerbacks or defensive backs opt out this week. Vandy's had 6 players opt out. Arkansas has had 2 offensive players opt out, a receiver and an offensive lineman. What does this mean for the SEC? We'll talk about it with Russ Mitchell, College Football News, SEC writer, and then we'll also discuss the projected win totals and get Russ's thoughts over, under, and why when we return. Glad you're with us here on Hump Day edition of AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org. While COVID has overtaken much of the medical world, that doesn't mean everyday occurrences have stopped. That doesn't mean people have stopped needing cancer treatments. People have stopped having babies, or people have stopped needing other surgeries. All of those things are still reality every day for a lot of people. The Baton Rouge General Hospital has been masterful in the way they've continued to care for Baton Rouge while also caring for us amid this COVID crisis. brgeneral.org to learn more about all of the services that they offer and all of the ways that you can get the information and the health care that you need. brgeneral.org. Top of the homepage, they've got COVID-19 information. They've also got a surgery tracker on their mobile app. So if you're having surgery, you can get real-time notifications about your loved one's surgery. Also, virtual visits are available. The ER's reopened at Baton Rouge Mid-City. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital. brgeneral.org, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
If they give you a nickname, you're good.
Rusty, come on up here. I'm getting tired of saying Tigers. There's too many Tigers in the league already.
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
You know, I mean, they're going to run this kid around like a rented step-headed mule.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
And I'm calling you out, man. We'll cut this clip and send it out there to Spurrier and the fellas.
It's like Troy.
Take it, Russ.
I am so glad you don't hate me. I thought you hated me. I thought our 10-year friendship was gone over something I didn't even know what I did.
No, I texted you when I had a technical. First of all, kick the tires, light the fires, baby.
Right.
We're going to have football, man. I texted you and it didn't go through, and then I was like, why haven't I heard from Matt? So
I'm sitting here last Wednesday, and I forgot Brain was on storm coverage, so it was Musso who was here.
Storm coverage.
Yeah, because Hurricane Laura came through, and he was on storm coverage, and so he was on our news talk station, and you didn't answer the phone, and I'm like, and you and I, we texted earlier the day. Like, I'm like, where are you? And then the next day I was like, hey, man, like a concerned friend. I'm like, I'm making sure you're okay. I never heard from you. I'm just making sure. And then you didn't respond to that. And I'm like, but then I saw you tweeting, and I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? Why did you hate me?
This is always an example of, as I've said for years, it's almost always never you, you know. And I don't mean you personally. Right. I mean it's everybody in their lives when things are happening and they're thinking whatever. It's almost never you, man. It's always something else. You know, you're just a bit player in everybody else's movie. You know.
I'm okay with
By
that.
the way, Can we talk about my dream that I had last night?
So I have the Paul. Can you pull this tweet up, please? All right. So this is what Russ tweeted at 8:07 a.m. Can I read the tweet?
6:07 for me.
Right. Okay. So it's 8:07 Central, so 6:07 Pacific. I just dreamt an entire football game. Oregon at Nebraska. Day game. Huskers pulled it out on a key diving interception by a linebacker late in the fourth. I need this season. Wait, but aren't dreams actually like 8 seconds long?
It was the full game. I dreamt the full game. But like from me walking into the press box, like the whole thing. The whole Nebraska crowd clapping for the visitors.
Oh, so it was at Nebraska. Okay.
It was in Lincoln, which, by the way, if you've never had a chance to go there, folks, that's an experience. Just imagine the coldest non-rain game you've ever been to in Tiger Stadium.
Okay.
And that's Nebraska.
So every dream, so an adult can dream between 4 and 6 times a night, and every dream lasts between 5 and 45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this was 3 hours long, man. Let me tell you.
Experts believe we only dream for about 90 minutes every night.
In my brain, it was a full game. It was just the greatest dream ever. This is. First of all, I knew nothing that was coming. Like I didn't know any of the plays, so it was like a real game. And Nebraska fumbled the ball, hitting the A gap on the goal line late in the fourth, and then on the next series, the linebacker, I mean, I didn't know who it was, made this spectacular interception, fully extended and landed like a linebacker would, flat on his back. Just spectacular. And then they drove and won the game with like a minute to play. It was just fantastic. And then I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I need this season.
And this is the reality we face. Did you see the Jamie Newman news?
Yes.
Okay. So for those that, just real quick, because we haven't talked about it yet on the show today, we've been busy with like sort of local storylines, talking points. But Jamie Newman, the quarterback at Georgia, who had been at Wake Forest, some project as a first-round draft pick, and sort of unanimously been considered the guy that was going to be the starter there at Georgia this year. Jamie Newman has opted out of the 2020 season, and he'll prepare for the NFL draft. So for everyone saying, "Oh, it's just LSU," it's not just LSU. There are opt-outs everywhere. How do you, Russ, feel like Jamie Newman's opt-out, or does it change the SEC season?
I mean, it certainly changes Georgia's season because I don't know how healthy Daniels is, the USC transfer.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this 2 weeks ago. Jamie has a banged up foot, and I thought it was worse than Georgia was letting on. And I think that kid's like, look, you know what? Why should I push this? You know, I mean, he's a stud. He completed over 60% of his passes during his time at Wake Forest. He's very accurate. His has a good touchdown interception ratio, and I think he's, it's a business. And I think that his team has thought, if it was a normal season and everything was fine and there was no COVID and we were going to play, then yeah, let's play one season in the limelight instead of in the, junior leagues, which is the ACC.
Yeah.
Let's play 1 year in the limelight and get everybody to see us with all the talent that I would have around me, which I didn't have at Wake Forest. But given where we're at, given the injury to his foot,
I'm not so honestly. By the way, I agree with you on all that, but I'm not so sure Daniels wouldn't have beat him out if both were healthy. I'm not so sure that JT Daniels wasn't the better pick there. I wasn't just going to grant the job to Jamie Newman like many had.
I like JT Daniels. I think he has the problem is he's been a little spotty. Now, remember, he was thrown to the Wolves as a freshman on a USC team that had just no offensive line to speak of. And then the injury at the beginning of last season.
Yeah.
But, he's NFL ready. So I don't know, man. Between those two, You got a cat at Wake Forest, and granted they ran a unique offense, but who's got a very accurate arm, and he's big kid. I don't know. I think I probably would have taken Newman over a young kid coming back from an injury.
So, all right. So one of the things that people have been asked a bunch, hey, do you think LSU could win the SEC West again? And I always kind of go look at the schedule with LSU and Bama, and both have to play the best corresponding teams from the East. Bama gets Georgia at home, and LSU's got to go to Florida. Does this materially change your thought, considering Bama's now going to get Georgia without Jamie Newman, and LSU with their opt-outs have to go to Gainesville?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't change my thought because I still have Alabama slightly ahead of LSU. But
okay.
But obviously Bama comes to Tiger Stadium, so that's a big advantage for LSU. But I although you wouldn't know it from the last two times Alabama's come to Baton Rouge, but I'm hoping there's been a sea change, on that front. I'm not. It's hard if you're an LSU fan to argue anything about the schedules because y'all brought it Vandy in Missouri. So I think that you just close your eyes and thank everybody.
Or we just thank Scott Woodward for doing work. Or realize that
Scott.
You're already playing Florida, and you're rotating cross-divisional with South Carolina. And, I mean, let's be honest. If you avoid Florida, Georgia, the rest of the East is a hodgepodge of average to bad. So
yeah, but Missouri is at the bottom of the hodgepodge.
But you already had Florida and South Carolina. You weren't going to get Georgia as well. So, I mean.
Yeah, I agree. What you're basically saying is the delta between Kentucky and Missouri isn't that huge.
Yeah, that's fair. Or the delta between Kentucky and South Carolina, who was already on the schedule.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but so the answer to your question is yes. Georgia without Jamie Newman is definitely not as threatening as. In fact, I think David Pollock, who's one of my favorite players of all time. He was thinking actually about taking Georgia to win the SEC, and now, he's stepping back from that. And I think I didn't have Georgia to win the SEC, but I definitely wouldn't be picking them now.
Russ Mitchell, College Football News. We'll look at win totals in the West in the next segment, but let's look at how, since last we spoke, there obviously have been significant opt-outs. LSU is the one everyone's talking about. Jamie Newman, that's massive today as well. But look around the league and dissect, if you could,
ask me?
What is the most influential? What's changed based on the opt-outs? Has anything changed, with your opinion, based on opt-outs?
Well, I think honestly the biggest opt-out so far is Jamie Newman. I know y'all are going to be focusing on Chase, but you've got a lot of depth at wide receiver, and I think that you're talking about a guy who touches the ball every play on offense. And this late, goodness gracious, it's September,
Yeah.
This is really late, which again, I think is reflective of the injury that this kid had. And I think that this is in fact, I would go so far as to say that across every conference that's across college football, the biggest opt-out, with maybe the exception of the Big Ten's not playing. So,
right.
But so I would say the greatest impact is Jamie Newman at Georgia. I think that pushes Florida to the top of the East.
Do you think? And I don't intend for this to be a political question, but do you think with what happened in the last 24 hours with the president getting involved, that might provide the Big Ten cover to get back in, or is the toothpaste out of the tube?
Oh, at this point, I don't see the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten made a decision that they truly believe is the right decision to make for the health of their players. Whether they're right or wrong, I don't know. We'll find out. But that's the decision they made. You don't make a decision that is going to cost you hundreds of millions of dollars as an organization. You don't make those decisions unless you feel you have to. So I don't think that there's been anything that the president has said. And if you tried to race back, I mean, I know the kids are still there and they're still practicing and the schedule's, I don't know, man. I think the Big Ten is done for this year.
I agree. I think
they are a clown show right now.
When you have Kirk Herbstreit going on the ESPN College Football podcast saying outright, who knows what the hell's going on in the Big Ten?
Yes.
It's kind of like where I may say it this way, but it's like reminiscent of what was happening with the LSU Florida thing back in 2016. You had a new commissioner, Greg Sankey, and he lost control of that situation.
Yes. That's a very good analogy, actually.
Thank you.
Except that we all know Foley was the can you say? Actually, I'm not even going to say. Because I'm pretty sure you can't say that word on the air.
Right.
So there's no point in even testing it. Wait, I just want to say.
Okay.
And I cannot believe I'm going to defend the Big Ten here. I cannot believe that I'm defending the Big Ten because I don't really like those guys. But this is a really messed up situation for everybody. And I think I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they were, again, nobody wants to make a decision that's going to cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. I think that they made a decision. They felt it was the right decision for their kids, and now they have buyer's remorse.
I think they made a decision thinking everyone was going to follow. They jumped into the pool thinking everyone was going to.
Well, it certainly helped when nobody else took their clothes off and jumped in the pool, right?
Right. All right. Russ Mitchell's with us, College Football News. Quick break. We'll come back. We'll look at SEC West projected win totals. Russ will say over, under. That's next. AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Carriages in Bocage. CarriagesBR.com. Have you gone by yet? Carriages in Bocage, y'all. Up to 65% off spring and summer items right now. Suits and sport coats, 25 to 50% off. Select sportswear styles, up to 65% off. Plus, you can save an extra 10 to 30% off the sale price if you buy multiple sale items. So, if there's something that's 50% off, if you buy 2 items, you get an extra 10%. Buy 3 items, an extra 20%. Buy 4 items, an extra 30%. This is bonkers. But they got to move this inventory at Carriages in Bocage. Voted by you the best men's clothier in the Best of 225 awards. The names and brands and styles you know and love. Unparalleled selection. Great service. In-house tailor. You need to upgrade that wardrobe. This is the time. Sales going on right now. Carriages in Bocage.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a new Camry for $239 per month, or take 0% financing for 6 years. $239 per month, or 0% for 6 years. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Hello?
What's up, B? What you doing?
Chilling at the office working. You?
Hanging at the job site. Chilling.
Roof's up?
Hey, Greg, roof up? Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up! Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we continue with Russ Mitchell, college football news, SEC writer. All right, let's do it. Win totals. Now, these did adjust. You and I talked about it initially, how they were just Vegas kind of peed the bed early on in these, and they've since corrected. I think they had Bama at 7.5. They had LSU at 6.5. I mean, it's since corrected, but I'm sure they were taking a bath early. So, all right, you want to start at the bottom or the top?
Hey, brother, it's your show.
All right, let's start at the bottom, work our way up. Arkansas over under 2.
Oh, wow. 2. Can't we do 2.5?
Over under 2. Or push.
I'm gonna say under.
I agree.
I think that I really like. We'll have to see. You know, they've got a lot of grad transfers, so we'll see how Felipe does. They got Kelly. They got a few others, so we'll see how those grad transfers do. Frank says he's healthy, by the way.
The Pirate over under 2.5.
Oh, over.
Wow.
Yeah, I think.
Where are the wins?
Oh, I think they've got a better. If you know, they're going to have a fantastic running game. They're going to have. I think Costello is going to start over Schroeder, and I think that's a good offense. I think that the Mad Pirate has always had good offenses wherever he's been. I think it'll take the conference a year to get used to him. And I think they'll beat Arkansas. I think they'll beat Ole Miss. And I think, they'll pick off somebody else along the way. They play Kentucky, right?
So, yes, that's their permanent cross-divisional.
I take State against Kentucky.
Okay. So this is probably the telltale then. Ole Miss is over under 3.5.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake. I'd take the under there. I think that you got to remember that Kiffin is, despite the fact that he can be kind of funny at times, he's an offensive genius. You know, I mean, he revolutionized Alabama's offense. That's what he was brought in there to do, and he did it. He's got a ton of talent at the quarterback position, but outside of that, it's really young, inexperienced, and I think that there's a lot of moving parts, and he's going to have to keep those 3 quarterbacks happy. Otherwise, you could lose the locker room in the first year. So I'd go under on Ole Miss.
So there's a big jump then. I mean, there's a very noticeable difference from the bottom 3 to the next 4, who all seem to be in the mix.
I'm going to say it's Auburn. Auburn's next, right?
No, it's A&M at 6.
Yeah, I'd take the over on that. Yeah, the big question mark. Do you realize that Mond is the most experienced quarterback to
Yes,
come back
I
in
do.
a decade. You got to go all the way back to, I mean, talk about LSU fans complaining about not having, I mean, you got to go all the way back to Tannehill to find an experienced senior starting quarterback like this.
And he was a
for the Aggies.
converted wide receiver.
That's right. The big question mark for the Aggies this year is running back. It kind of reminds me of that Texas game last year where they were running quarterbacks at the running back position. They only had a freshman on. They had one scholarship running back at the end of last year, Spiller, and he was a freshman. That's why they signed 3 kids in their draft class. So if you want what did you say it was, 6.5?
No, 6.
Yeah, no, I'll take the over on that.
Okay.
And on the belief that offensive line and a senior quarterback with experience will take a little pressure off the running game, and they'll be able to find somebody.
So Auburn is at 7. The over is even money. The under is minus 130. Basically saying they're thinking that you'd have heavier odds at the under. It's more likely that Auburn would go under 7.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I'd take the under. I think that everybody's going to be looking at the offense. They bring in a new coordinator in Chad Morris from Arkansas, who's had great success as a coordinator, and they've got familiarity there with Malzahn. But to me, I love that game, that Auburn LSU game last year. Really, of all the games, that's my favorite. That was, I think, my favorite game other than the championship. Well, that's not true. The A&M game was my favorite game.
The first half was particularly pleasing.
Yes, even the second half was all beautiful. I like the crowd shots of the A&M fans. That was beautiful.
I liked you the next week going, score! What are you doing?
Score!
You were actually screaming score 100 is what you were saying.
I was.
I
I wanted to see 100 points.
Me too.
Seriously. Thank God there were other adults in the room. I would just say, to me, the big issue is in that game against Auburn, it was that defensive line, right?
Yeah.
So who's going to replace Derek Brown? Who's going to replace, Davidson and co? That's why they were good last year. So that's what I want to see.
All right, so you're saying A&M over 6, Auburn under 7?
Yes.
Okay, then LSU is at 8.
I take LSU and 8. I'll take LSU, and I'm not taking the under. So, maybe I take the push. I've rolled the double zeros before, right?
Yeah.
I've called for the tie. But I'll take the over.
You did predict a tie.
I did predict a tie. It's like Baccarat, baby. You gotta. I'll tell you what. I think that I'll take the push again.
I do. I think they're 8-2. And then,
I'll take the push.
Bama's at 9.
To me, by the way, I think the thing that everybody is looking at for LSU is Linehan and Brady. I don't even think it's on the field, man. I think everyone wants to see if we can see amongst the offensive brain trust off the field. It's not just Linehan and Brady, but are we going to see an offense that was similar to the offense that we saw last year?
Yeah.
And Alabama
9.
I'll take the under.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. I think
do you think they win?
lose
Do you think Bama wins in Baton Rouge?
Oh man, why you got to do that?
The reason it's relevant is because
that's
if
how
LSU,
do you get under 9? Yeah.
If LSU is at 8 and Bama is under 9 and they're at 8-2 and LSU beats Bama, then LSU's back in Atlanta.
Head-to-head. Yeah, I think they lose to LSU.
Wow.
And I think they probably lose somewhere else along the way.
It's just so interesting because none of us really know how a 10-game conference schedule is going to look. Like, you know what I mean?
It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome. I agree. But how?
It's going to be awesome.
But how are we going to perceive a 2-loss team? You know what I mean? Like that's my. in a 12-game schedule, we know how to perceive a two-loss team that
think
goes 6-2.
they're going to expand the playoff, brother. I really do. I think they're going to have 8
this year.
I think because we don't have any non-conference games, it'll be very hard to compare a 2-loss Alabama team to an undefeated, Clemson. So I think we'll see 8. We'll just see an extra round.
If they do, they got to do it before the season starts. I mean, they got to make that decision pronto, which I would love to see it. I just don't think it's in the cards this year. I'd be all for it though. All right, he's Russ Mitchell. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that the money wants to see 8, and this would be a perfect excuse to do that and at least get the ball rolling. And like everything else in life, once the ball is rolling, it usually goes in the direction of the money. The money is the gravity.
Russ Mitchell, college football news. He's on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB and with us here on Wednesdays. Thank you, sir. Thank you for not hating me.
South Point Volkswagen.
South Point.
I love the Volkswagens. And go get yourself a bird from Pluckers and support your restaurant.
Indeed, do that. Thank you, sir.
Talk to you later. Bye.
I'm glad you don't hate me. It's after further review. We'll wrap up with Auto Locks next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Ichiban, Essen near Perkins, Airline Highway in Gonzales. Make tonight an Ichiban night. If you need dinner plans, Ichiban's always a great option. Dine in or carry out. Remember, at the Essen Lane location, the original location, they got curbside to go. So this is easy. You can call or you can log on. IchibanBR.com. You go to the website, top right-hand corner, place your order, pay for it online, designate what time you want to pick it up, and they'll have it ready for you. So you pull up into the parking spot, call the number. They have like numbers on placards right in front. They'll bring your order out so you never have to get out of the car. That contactless experience for you if you're trying to stay safe amid COVID and you're not comfortable going to dine in. Ichiban's still taking great care of you. Voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225 awards. Try a Moscona roll. Try your new favorite specialty roll. Just try Ichiban tonight. Essen near Perkins, Airline Highway in Gonzales. Make tonight an Ichiban night.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a new Camry for $239 per month or take 0% financing for 6 years. $239 per month or 0% for 6 years. So come on down to Happy Town.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Otterlocks, presented by Hot Rods Creole, the way to Creole. Shop online, hotrodscreole.com.
All right, wrapping up a Hump Day edition of AFR. Appreciate our friends at Hot Rods Creole for bringing us Otterlocks. We're joined now by Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Good, man. We were so close to hitting them both last night. We still got what we wanted, 1 of 2 with Detroit's big win. But Pirates with the game-winning run on second with nobody out in the bottom of the ninth.
You just
so we
hate
split it.
You just hate to see it. You hate to see it. So
but
close.
we've not last 6 baseball picks on this show. Not bad. So not bad. We're going with how about this again? And we got a bunch of picks at the start of game time earlier, but I'm going to give you one that Nola. You watched Nola with his shutout last night. The Phillies have won 7 of 8, and in the haves and have-nots of Major League Baseball right now, they've won 7 of 8 against the Braves and the Nationals. That's all they played the last 8 games. So, Scherzer versus Wheeler. Well, Matt Scherzer, I mean, he's the second best pitcher behind Jacob deGrom the last few years in the National League. Okay, so he's a slight favorite, $1.27. But look under the stats. Wheeler has a better win-loss record. Don't care that much about that. He has a better ERA than Scherzer. We care about that. He has a better whip than Scherzer. We care about that. And he's going longer per start than Scherzer. All major statistical categories, and the Phillies are red hot. They won 7 of 8, as we talked about, at home. We're going to take the small favorite in the red hot Phillies against the designer label, Max Scherzer.
Wow, look at that. Little Otter giving you the Phillies. What's the number there?
Coming back like $1.15, $1.20. So come back a little juice. Not massive like that $1.80 that Detroit. How about Detroit again? Detroit's got a better pitcher again tonight. Milwaukee's $1.68 again against Detroit. Detroit is now, unbelievable. They're down to top 10 in scoring. Milwaukee is dead again, still second to last. And Turnbull, the pitcher for Detroit, has an ERA 1.4 runs better, 1.4 runs lower than Hauser, and they're still coming back big numbers. Detroit's got a better record, too. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But Milwaukee a big favorite again. Hang on, game time tonight. Special guest Stuart Cassidy, state senator from Monroe. Did you have Claire on earlier?
We did, yeah. We did.
Yeah, so Claire has put me in touch with Justin Morrow, who she's been working with a lot. He's an assistant football coach at Denham Springs. They're both going to be on at the same time. The state senator, he's been on our show before talking about the fantasy football in the sports gambling. He'll be with us at City Slice on Chime Street tonight at 6:30. He and Coach Morrow are going to kind of talk to what's hot, man. People are, when you see all of our neighboring states play and we're sitting at home kind of stuff.
I hear you, man. All right, Game Time with Jimmy Ott's following us in Baton Rouge or on the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. Check it out there and take the Phillies tonight and cash a ticket. Appreciate you, Otter. Thanks, man.
All right, Matthew. See you.
Be well. City Slice there. It's a great location. If you're just through the North Gates here on the Chime Street, go check it out. Otterlocks is brought to you by Hot Rods Creole, the way to Creole. Rodney Beloso. my guy, man. You will not be around a more positive, energetic dude that loves people, loves to entertain, loves to cook. That's where Hot Rods Creole was born. Through Labor Day, if you get to hotrodscreole.com, hotrodscreole.com, through Labor Day, 20% off everything at the site. And you can use the promo code AFR, and they'll add an additional 10% off. So basically 30% off through Labor Day if you use the promo code AFR. Find your favorite seasonings, sauces, mixes. It's at Hot Rods Creole. Don't you cook without Hot Rods Creole. Hot Rods Creole, the way to Creole, a great new sponsor on AFR. We're pumped to tell you more about them. If you want the seafood boil, if you want the jambalaya mix, the garlic butter is their absolute bestseller. Check it out. Make your food taste better with Hot Rods Creole. My guy, Rodney Beloso, making food taste better since 2003. Hot Rods Creole, the way to Creole. HotRodsCreole.com. Promo code AFR. All right, let's see what we learned today. Busy show. Sean Fazende, Hour 1. Claire Harvison, who Jimmy just mentioned, trying to get high school football back this fall. Pronto. She was in Hour 2. Russ Mitchell just a bit ago. What did we learn? Brain, what did you learn today?
I learned that Carol Baskin's going to embarrass herself on Dancing with the Stars.
Now, you really think she's going to embarrass herself?
I don't think she's capable of embarrassment, but
maybe Carol has some rhythm. I learned that Carol Baskin fed her husband to tigers. Paul, what did you learn?
Apparently people do know how to use roundabouts. Allegedly.
Hey, man, the poll's overwhelming. Overwhelming. People say they know how to use a roundabout.
Matt, what'd you learn today?
Russ Mitchell doesn't hate me! Yay, my friend! He still likes me! It was touch and go, man. When you get stood up, like straight stood up, and no response for a week. Pay your phone bill, Russ. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com for the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Faces for fall. That's what we're talking about all throughout the month of September. Great specials on facial rejuvenation products and services like filler, Botox, amazing specials, hydrofacials. I've told you all this before. If you want to give her something to pamper herself, or if you want to make your face look better, clearer, smoother, brighter skin, healthier skin, hydrofacials at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. And as always, we will always, always, always give you a free hormone level check. And I would always encourage you to do the full blood labs if you haven't done it. Let's find out if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. Look and feel like your younger self. Online, theantiagingclinics.com.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a new Highlander for $4,000 off MSRP. Yes, $4,000 off MSRP, and we have many in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with